The silent invasion. The first sign came not with a bang, but with silence. Across the globe, quantum communication networks flickered and died, leaving only static in their wake. Dr. Maya Patel stood in the control room of the Global Observatory Network, her dark eyes fixed on the cascading failure reports flooding her holographic displays. "This isn't a malfunction," she whispered, her fingers dancing across the neural interface. 20 years of studying deep space signals had taught her to recognize patterns in the chaos. This was different. This was deliberate. The quantum network's collapse was just the beginning. Within hours, satellite systems began failing, their signals corrupted by an unknown force. Military commanders worldwide watched helplessly as their most sophisticated defense systems went dark. Something was systematically dismantling humanity's electronic eyes and ears. Commander James Chen of the newly formed Earth Defense Coalition received the first concrete evidence of what they faced. A junior analyst had captured it, a fractional second of footage from a dying satellite. The image showed a vessel of impossible proportions, its surface rippling with what appeared to be living metal, materializing from what could only be described as a tear in space itself. "They've been watching us," Dr. Patel announced during the emergency United Nations session. Her voice carried across the stunned assembly. "The quantum disruptions, the satellite failures, they're not attacks. They're side effects. Someone or something has been maintaining a surveillance network around our planet, and now they're taking it down. They don't need it anymore." The truth of her words became apparent as more ships emerged from the spatial tiers. They appeared beyond Luna's orbit, a fleet of vessels that defy human engineering principles. Their hulls seemed to absorb light rather than reflect it, creating void-like silhouettes against the star field. Humanity's first official contact with alien intelligence came exactly 72 hours after the initial communications blackout. The message bypassed all known transmission methods, appearing simultaneously on every functioning display device on Earth. The aliens called themselves the Kraxen, and their message was simple. Earth had 24 hours to surrender unconditionally or face extinction. Dr. Patel worked tirelessly with her team to analyze the alien transmission. "Their technology operates on principles we've barely theorized," she explained to the hastily assembled War Council. "They're not just advanced. They're operating on a completely different paradigm of physics." But as she studied the alien signals, Dr. Patel noticed something odd. Buried beneath the Kraxen's ultimatum was a complex web of data, information they couldn't possibly have meant to transmit. It was as if their very presence was causing Earth's quantum infrastructure to resonate in unexpected ways. Commander Chen, watching holographic projections of the alien fleet's movements, saw something else. "They're being careful," he noted. "Too careful. Look at their formation. They're positioning themselves to minimize exposure to something. But what?" The truth would soon become apparent, but not before humanity faced its darkest hour. As the deadline approached, the world's governments united in an unprecedented show of solidarity. Their response to the Kraxen ultimatum was brief. "Earth belongs to humanity. We will not surrender." The Kraxen's response was immediate and devastating. Kinetic weapons rained down on military installations worldwide, each impact precisely calculated to destroy humanity's defensive capabilities while minimizing civilian casualties. It was a demonstration of power that left no doubt about the technological gap between the species. But in their precise, calculated assault, the Kraxen revealed something crucial. Dr. Patel noticed it first. A pattern in their attacks, a deliberate avoidance of certain geographical locations. They were afraid of something on Earth, something they couldn't detect but knew existed. As the first day of war drew to a close, Dr. Patel made a discovery that would change everything. Hidden in the quantum noise of the alien transmissions was a signature she'd seen before, in ancient geological data from deep beneath the Antarctic ice. Earth had secrets of its own, and the Kraxen's arrival had begun to wake them. The real war was about to begin, and neither humanity nor the Kraxen Empire truly understood the forces they were about to unleash. Humanity's last stand. The sky burned red over Singapore as Commander Chen watched another Kraxan energy blast tear through Earth's remaining orbital defenses. 7 days into the war, and humanity's conventional military forces were proving woefully inadequate against alien technology. Yet something about the invasion still didn't make sense. "They're holding back," Chen muttered, studying tactical displays in the underground EDC command center. The aliens possessed enough firepower to glass the planet, but instead they were engaging in precise, surgical strikes. Their strategy seemed focused on containment rather than conquest. Dr. Patel's voice crackled over the quantum-encrypted channel. "Commander, I need you to see something." Her tone carried an urgency that made Chen's spine tingle. "We've decoded more of their battle communications. They're not just attacking us. They're searching for something." In her laboratory beneath the Himalayas, Dr. Patel had assembled a team of the world's brightest minds. Their workspace was a chaos of holographic displays and quantum computers, all focused on understanding the alien threat. But their most significant breakthrough came from an unexpected source: ancient petroglyphs found in caves worldwide. "Look at these patterns," she explained, projecting images of cave paintings alongside Kraxan ship formations. "They're identical. The aliens aren't just arriving, they're returning, and they're terrified of something they left behind." As if confirming their fears, another Kraxan assault began. This time, their ships targeted seemingly random locations across the globe: remote mountaintops, desert plateaus, and ocean depths. Each strike was followed by intense scanning operations, as if the aliens were checking items off a list. Commander Chen coordinated humanity's resistance from mobile command centers, never staying in one place for long. The EDC had learned the hard way that the Kraxan could track large concentrations of advanced technology. Their surviving forces had adapted, using guerrilla tactics and minimal tech to strike at alien weak points. "They practically ignore our conventional weapons," Chen observed during a strategy session. "But when we use electromagnetic pulse devices, they react with extreme prejudice. It's like they're allergic to certain energy frequencies." Dr. Patel's team made another breakthrough while studying the aftermath of these encounters. "They're ships' hulls," she explained, pointing to spectral analyses. "They're not just armor. They're containment vessels. Whatever powers their technology, they're working hard to keep it isolated from Earth's natural electromagnetic field." The knowledge came at a heavy price. The Kraxan, realizing humans were beginning to understand their vulnerabilities, launched their most devastating attack yet. Major cities worldwide were targeted with weapons that didn't destroy but rather altered the fundamental properties of matter itself, creating zones where human technology simply ceased to function. In the chaos that followed, Dr. Patel made the connection that would change the course of the war. The dead zones created by Kraxan weapons weren't random. They formed a pattern, like pieces of a vast puzzle being removed from a larger image. And in the spaces between these zones, Earth's natural electromagnetic field was growing stronger. "They're not trying to destroy us," she realized, her hands shaking as she compiled the data. "They're trying to prevent something from awakening, something they buried here millions of years ago." Commander Chen received her findings while coordinating a resistance cell in the Andes. The implications were staggering. Earth itself was a weapon, or perhaps a prison, created by an ancient civilization. The Kraxan weren't invaders, they were jailers, returning to check on their containment system. But the damage was done. Their attempts to suppress Earth's awakening had instead accelerated it. Deep beneath the Antarctic ice, something ancient stirred. Seismic sensors worldwide recorded a low-frequency pulse that made every piece of Kraxan technology shudder. In orbit, the alien fleet's formation shifted dramatically. Their careful surgical strikes were replaced by increasingly desperate attempts to bombard specific ley lines across the planet's surface. They no longer cared about concealing their true purpose. "We need to make a decision," Chen told the EDC Council. "Whatever the Kraxan are trying to prevent, whatever they imprisoned here, do we help them contain it, or do we let it free? The answer came not from military command, but from Dr. Patel's latest analysis. We may not have a choice, she reported, her voice grim. The awakening has already begun. The only question now is whether we can control it. As if in response to her words, the ground began to tremble. Across the globe, ancient structures, previously thought to be natural formations, began to emit a soft, pulsing light. The Earth was awakening, and neither humanity nor the Kraxen were prepared for what would emerge from its long slumber. The second phase of the war was about to begin, and the true nature of Earth's power would soon be revealed to all. Project Stardust. In the sprawling underground complex of Cheyenne Mountain, Colorado, alarms blared as reports of the space battle flooded in. Yet, in a secluded lab deep within the facility, Dr. Amelia Chen remained focused on her work, oblivious to the chaos outside. Before her floated a shimmering gossamer-thin material, Project Stardust. This project had consumed her life for years, a closely guarded secret known only to a handful of the world's top scientists and military leaders. Now, as humanity fought for its very existence, it might be their only hope. Dr. Chen, a young assistant, burst into the lab, his face pale with urgency. The aliens are breaking through our defenses. Amelia's eyes remained fixed on the experiment. Then we better hurry, she replied calmly, making a minute adjustment to the quantum field generator surrounding the material. Inform General Briggs that we're ready for the final test. As the assistant scrambled to relay the message, Amelia allowed herself a moment of reflection. She thought of her parents, refugees who had fled war and persecution to give her a better life, and of her mentors at MIT who had nurtured her unconventional theories. Countless nights spent poring over equations finally felt like they were leading to something monumental. Now that dream might be all that stood between humanity and extinction. The intercom crackled to life. Dr. Chen, this is General Briggs. What's the status of Project Stardust? Amelia took a deep breath. We're ready, sir. Initiating final test sequence now. She activated the quantum field, and the gossamer material began to vibrate, slowly at first, then with increasing speed until it hummed with energy. On her monitors, readings spiked off the charts. It's working, she whispered. Then louder, General. We've done it. Project Stardust is operational. A moment of stunned silence followed in the command center before a whoop of joy erupted from Briggs and his team. But Amelia knew they weren't out of the woods yet. The real test would come against alien technology. Dr. Chen, Briggs said, his gruff voice tinged with hope. I'm dispatching a team to escort you and Project Stardust to our launch facility. We'll deploy Stardust on our new prototype ship. It's a long shot, but it's our best chance. As Amelia and her team prepared to move the delicate equipment, reports continued to pour in from the battle above. Earth's forces were fighting valiantly, but were hopelessly outmatched. Zarka's ships shrugged off conventional weapons like raindrops, their energy shields flickering with each impact. In orbit, Commander Sarah Donovan gritted her teeth as another volley of alien fire vaporized 3 of her squad mates. Her fighter, a hastily upgraded F-52 Starhawk, ducked and weaved through debris fields that were once part of Earth's satellite network. This is Raptor Lead, she called over comms. We can't hold them much longer. Where's that reinforcement we were promised? The response came not from her usual channels, but directly from General Briggs. Raptor Lead, this is baseplate. Help is on the way. I need you and your squad to clear a path to the alien flagship. Transmitting coordinates now. Sarah's eyes widened at the location. It was in the heart of the enemy formation, a suicide run by any measure. But she had sworn an oath to protect Earth and wouldn't break it now. Roger that, base plate. Raptor Squad, form up on me. We're going hunting. As Sarah led her remaining pilots on their desperate mission, Amelia and Project Stardust were rushed to a secret launch facility in the Nevada desert. Nestled deep within a repurposed mineshaft, stood humanity's last best hope, the XSS Excalibur. The ship was unlike anything Amelia had ever seen, sleek and predatory. It combined the best of human engineering with reverse-engineered alien tech recovered from previous clandestine encounters. But its true power lay in its cargo bay, where Project Stardust was carefully installed. The Excalibur is designed to get you close enough to deploy Stardust, General Briggs explained as Amelia and a skeleton crew boarded the vessel. After that, it's up to your invention to do the rest. Amelia nodded, her heart racing. She was a scientist, not a soldier, but now the fate of humanity rested on her shoulders. As the launch countdown began, she sent a silent prayer to whatever forces might be listening in the cosmos. The Excalibur rocketed into the sky, its experimental engines pushing it to speeds no human craft had achieved before. As they broke through the atmosphere, the true scale of battle became apparent. The void was filled with streaks of weapon fire and explosions blooming like deadly flowers among the stars. Captain Miguel Cortez, chosen to helm Excalibur, deftly maneuvered through chaos. Dr. Chen, he called over his shoulder, we're approaching the deployment zone. Whatever you're going to do, now's the time. Amelia rushed to the control panel for Project Stardust with trembling fingers and initiated the launch sequence. The gossamer material pulsed with energy as it was ejected from Excalibur in a rapidly expanding cloud. For a moment, nothing seemed to happen. Then, as quantum-entangled particles of stardust encountered alien ships' energy fields, something remarkable occurred. Their impenetrable shields flickered and failed. It worked. Amelia breathed in disbelief before shouting louder for everyone to hear. Their shields are down. News spread like wildfire through Earth's forces. Suddenly, the tide of battle began to turn. Human weapons, previously useless against alien defenses, now found their marks as Zarka ships began exploding under relentless fire. But aliens adapted quickly. Their flagship, a behemoth dwarfing all other vessels, began emitting a counterpulse that threatened to neutralize Stardust's effect. Dr. Chen, Captain Cortez called urgently over comms. They're fighting back against Stardust. We need to take out that flagship now, or this advantage won't last. Amelia's mind raced. Excalibur wasn't designed for direct combat. They needed a new plan fast. Just then, a channel crackled alive. Excalibur, this is Raptor Lead. Commander Sid Donovan's voice was strained but determined as her squad fought their way through impossible odds to reach this point. We heard you could use a hand with that big ugly. Raptor Lead, Captain Cortez responded quickly. We're reading multiple weak points on their flagship's hull. If you can hit them while their shields are down. Say no more. Sarah cut in decisively. Raptor Squad, you heard him. Let's show these aliens why you don't mess with Earth. Fire everything. What followed was an awe-inspiring display of piloting skill that would be remembered for generations as Sarah and her pilots danced through chaos. Their weapons found every vulnerability in alien flagship armor, while Excalibur provided cover fire with its advanced targeting systems, making every shot count. For a moment, it seemed victory was within grasp. But then disaster struck. The alien flagship began powering up its main weapon, a planet killer capable of reducing Earth to ash. No, Amelia whispered in horror as she watched deadly energy glow emanate from its massive cannon, growing brighter by each passing second, while Earth below seemed to hold its breath. Inside, Excalibur's bridge alarms blared as systems struggled under immense energy buildup. Dr. Amelia Chen's fingers flew over holographic displays, searching desperately for solutions. The Stardust field is weakening, she reported tightly as tension filled every crevice aboard Excalibur's bridge. We don't have enough particles left for full coverage against their fleet. Captain Cortez gripped controls tightly. His knuckles turned white as he considered their options. What about concentrating what we have left on that flagship? Can we disrupt that weapon? Amelia shook her head in frustration. It wasn't enough. The energy output was too massive. They'd need. She trailed off as her gaze fell upon Excalibur's engine routes. An idea began forming dangerously in her mind. "Captain," she said slowly but firmly, "what if we overloaded our quantum drive and channeled it through remaining stardust?" Cortez paled as he understood implications. "Doctor, that would tear Excalibur apart. We'd be vaporized in process." "I know," Amelia replied softly but resolutely. "But it might be our only chance to save Earth." A heavy silence fell over bridge, broken only by urgent beeping from tactical displays. The weight of decision pressed down on every soul aboard Excalibur. "Commander Donovan," crackled voice over comms, trained but determined. "Excalibur Raptor lead here. Whatever you're planning, do it fast. We can't hold them off much longer." Captain Cortez took deep breath, meeting each crew member's eyes. They all nodded in silent agreement, passing between them. "All right, Dr. Chen," he said finally, resolutely. "Let's save world. Initiate quantum cascade." Amelia's fingers flew over controls, rerouting power, reconfiguring Stardust deployment systems. The ship groaned around them as quantum drive spooled beyond safety limits. "Raptor Squad, this is Excalibur," Cortez called out urgently. "Clear area immediately. We're about light candle. You don't want near us when we do." "Copy that, Excalibur," Sarah replied thickly with emotion. "It's been honor. Give them hell." As remaining Earth fighters peeled away, Excalibur surged forward, driving straight toward heart of alien flagship, while alarms blared throughout ship systems began overload. Quantum cascade initiated, Amelia reported steadily despite chaos around them. Impact in 10, 9, 8. The alien flagship Supreme Commander Vex. Thor watched confusion spread across crew faces as tiny human vessel approached. They scanned immense energy buildup never encountered before. Evasive maneuvers. Vex, Thor bellowed, but it was too late. 3, 2, 1. Amelia's countdown reached its end just as Excalibur made contact with alien flagship hull. A moment stretched into eternity.